Hello, friends. Welcome back to episode 7 of our Let's Learn series on All the Mods 3 Lite. In today's episode, we're going to do a few things to help us advance our mining by building a little backpack and starting to play with Tinker Construct modifiers. So, I'm just back in my mining world right now, doing a little mining, placing some torch. Did I get diamonds? I just hit diamonds. Awesome. What a great time to capture that on stream. Right, I have it in my right hand. Perfect. Okay, we're going to leave those for a second. But, so I'm out doing some mining. I'm at Y level 11, you can see on the right-hand side. I did make a little bit of a mistake. When I started mining where I left off the other episode on Y level 16. And so ended up in a section that is pretty cool. We found a bunch of stuff on there, and I'm going to say in this area, if you're following along, there are a lot of emeralds, which is really awesome. But there's some neat places around here, some more ore to find, a lot of lava, which is great for us. But we do have one little problem right now, and this is it. As you can see, collecting stuff really gets my stuff full. We found a lot of new stuff also, so I encourage you, as you're mining off, just to start picking it up. So you can pick up the peridot and the sapphire, all those little silent gems also. There's a whole bunch of gems that you can pick up. You can see we got a great deal of iron ore, which is awesome. And once we double that, it's going to be even better. And even if you find, I think we saw it just over here, even these crystals. So this is going to be a crystal from Thaumcraft, which is a magic-based mod that we'll get into a bit. So if you want to start collecting those, because you're going to need a bunch of different colors. I'm not going to collect them right now, because as you can see, my inventory is really full right now. So to help with that, there's a couple things I want to build. One is going to be something to store some excess materials in, and then I think I also want to, we saw how quick my hammer was, not very, but not horrible. But as you get up here, let's do a few more examples of this. You see, yeah, it takes a bit to go through. So I want to increase the speed of my hammer so that I can dig through it. You can see my hammer is running out fast. I did build a bunch of more stone sharpening kits. So this is a great, easy thing to do. But you can see everything's just packed now, right? So I'm like, well, let's get rid of this. So we have a ton of cobble sitting on the ground. So I think we're going to need... Oh, and you'll also see, because of my pick, remember we made it out of iron, so it has magnetic too. We can see as we approach stuff, it follows us around. If we get too far out of range, it's not going to follow us anymore, but there we go. So there's going to be a couple things we want to build. Normally in mod packs, they'll have some form of backpack or pack which you can store stuff. When I was looking through here, unfortunately, I was a little disappointed by what options were available. The only thing that I can find right now is iron backpacks, which is an older mod that was in, I believe, 1.7, and it was a little more fully featured. This one, it's not very full featured. You can see that the backpack starting on iron either talk about having a storage emphasis or an upgrade emphasis. Nothing has happened with that because I think they abandoned creating the mod. So the best thing to use is a storage emphasis. We're going to try to go up to at least tier 3. We don't have a ton of diamonds yet, but we want to build a backpack, and that's going to allow us to have inventory on us so that we can leave stuff. So we're going to build that. Second, I'm trying to find redstone, and usually it's like you find it everywhere. I am having troubles finding any of it, so I need to do a little more mining with that, but I want to go back and try to help us. The other thing I want to do is a lot of this excess stuff, we want to be automatically picked up even though we still want it, and that's going to be something referred to as, I believe, a dank null. There we go. Dank null. So we're going to build some dank nulls. I'll explain what those are for in a bit, but for the time being, let's head back to the base, and we will start processing our ores and building the things we want to do so that we can do longer mining excursions. So I was trying to figure out why it was really dark outside. You notice we're on a half eclipse. It's daylight, but we got a half eclipse. I'm assuming that's a mod that adds that also. Interesting. That could mean something's bad. Also, I set up a little tree farm here so that when I need more wood, it's going to be nice and easy to get, just so I can have this ready to go at any moment. I recommend you do the same. Get that. Eventually, what we want to do is automate that so that we don't have to be chopping wood all the time. And that's going to be coming up soon. I think we're getting close to the point where we may want to even kind of move away from our initial base and try to find something new for us. But okay, so it was a part we had an eclipse, but it looks like we're better now. I came back here and realized after making all the Tinker's Armor stuff that I forgot to set it to be ingot making. So now I've turned that on. I put the ingot recipe back in. So now it's going through, finally processing most of this stuff and also going through, and it's going to do the rest of our ores, process the rest of those. I put the blocks away. So now we're going to start working on stuff to make our life a little better. So I've put it over here. Remember, you can press A to get the things over. This is kind of the stuff I want to build today. We're going to start with our backpacks. So a basic backpack requires a chest, 4 wool, and a few leather. So here's the tricky part. Now, how do I get all this stuff? I can go look for sheep, I believe, to get some wool. Looking through here, I currently don't have any wool unless I've missed it, which is likely. So part of the whole modded Minecraft experience is trying to figure out how you can build things in different ways. So let's start with our wool. So when we look at this, we want to get to white wool, and we notice just like before, 4 strings equal to white wool. Here's the big one. 4 pieces of cotton are going to make 1 piece of white wool. Now you notice 3 pieces of cotton will also make a piece of string. So either you can use 12 to make that, or you can directly go into this one. So we're going to need 4 times 9, 36 pieces of cotton, and we're hitting 38. I just did a little more trimming off here just to pick up some more cotton. One of the reasons that we're doing this is this. Now I've also planted some industrial hemp, and I've got to sneeze, so I'll be right back. Oh wait, that was a big one. I don't think it's done. I also see my hunger is getting low, so I cooked up some more baguettes for myself. I'll eat those just to get a little full. Perfect. Okay, we're feeling good. Oh, and now that I'm not mining anymore, I'm going to take the torches out of my right hand because I accidentally will place torches all over the place if given the opportunity. So as I was saying, we can use our cotton now to make our wool. When I click on cotton and do what is it used in, we can see cotton is primarily wool and string. So getting those cotton plants are really good for an easy, renewable way of early game string and wool if you just happen not to find any sheep in the area. So that's a really good way to do that. The industrial hemp, you'll see seeds from that also, and you'll be able to see in the crafting recipe, there's some stuff for immersive engineering. This is where this comes from. But you can see 3 pieces of industrial hemp also make a string. So that's another path into making our wool. So when we put this into here, we need 4 pieces for our backpack. Perfect. We got that. Okay, to go next, chests are easy. Now we need some leather. Leather, I looked through my backpack and I don't see any leather yet. So we can go out and hunt cows, but when I ran around, I didn't find a lot. Oh, it looks like it's almost night, so I'll want to sleep again. I did some running around the world, and I see some white animals on there. I didn't specifically find any cows. So this is another opportunity for where JEI will teach us how to an alternate way of making things. So here we have leather. We can see it's made through there, and there are many things: an industrial squeezer, mana infusion through Botania, so maybe magic, a drying rack. And if we have some cooked meats, we could wait 8 minutes for each piece of leather. Llamas will drop. Here it's even showing us which animals will drop leather for us. It's the llamas, horses, and donkeys, and mushrooms. But going back here, sometimes you'll see in some where you have a furnace recipe that turns flesh into leather. This one, if we get a powered redstone furnace, which is one of the powered stuff that we want to work on, let's go to sleep. That's one way we can do it, but we're not ready to go into power yet. A lot of people will rush power to get all the cool machines done, but I want us to find ways of doing things early game that doesn't rely on power yet. So going back to that, let's go back to the backpack, look at leather, and we can see something called from Integrated Dynamics called a drying basin, which when you put it in, 1 rotten flesh turns into a piece of leather. This is a really nice 1-for-1, and I've killed some zombies, so I have 28 pieces just kind of sitting there. So let's go through and see what our drying basin, and I've put it on here, I probably spoiled that, requires, and it's logs, ink sacks, and iron ingots, all of which we currently have. So let's put that together. We need that. We need some iron ingots, and we need something dark, preferably an ingot. Or sorry, preferably an ink sac, which we did get a few of them, so that's good. There we go. We got a drying basin. So let's take some of our leather, and let's see how this works. So we put our drying basin down. We're going to take a piece of leather, throw it in, and it looks like it's working. Now, notice I can't put multiple. I can only do one at a time. So we're going to wait. Ew. Wow, that was actually pretty fast. That was pretty fast to go through that. But I think we can make it faster. And this is part of why I always love automating. We are now really good with iron ingots. So what I want to do is just make, sometimes this works, sometimes it doesn't, but we're going to try it. I'm going to make a couple of hoppers, and we're going to see if we can hopperize this. Yep. Let's go get our stone-matic. I believe that's the tool that's used. Okay, so we're going to put down one of the chests that we have. We're going to tie a hopper into it, put the drying rack on top, and then, well, we'll try this first to see if this works. So we'll take a piece of rotten flesh, put it in there, hop on the chest. No, it took the rotten flesh right away, so that didn't work, unfortunately. We'll have ways to do that where we can pipe items in and around and create filters. For the time being, unfortunately, that didn't work, but we will automate at some point. So unfortunately, we're just going to have to do this manually. So let me put the materials that I created. These will come into use eventually, so don't worry about that. And now we're just going to sit here and make some leather. So let me do that. I'm going to make maybe 8 or so just so we have some for the future, and I'll be right back once that's done. Our 8th piece is done, which is good. We're going to leave that out there just for now, and in case there's something else we want to use rotten flesh for, I'm going to save that. We don't have a ton of it, but now we can take our pieces of leather, which I believe was here. I may have gotten this backwards. We also need a chest, which I think I threw back into here. And there we go. We've now created our basic backpack. So when we right click it, we notice now it has a bunch of places that we can now move things. So we can move all these things up here. And as we go through, it now just takes up a slot on the back, which is awesome. We can carry around more things that we need. Kind of the tools. I often put in here the tools that I use somewhat often, but not often. But we can do better. So let's look. I want to upgrade it now. So from basic, the next tier 2, this was tier 1, tier 2 is an iron backpack. So it just needs 7 pieces of iron, the basic backpack that we did, plus a birch chest. And we want to make sure we're doing the storage emphasis one, because like I said, iron backpacks isn't fully implemented in this one. I think was abandoned, but it's our backpack of choice for this one. So let's do that. We can put, I think I'm going to need a few more chests, so let's go ahead and craft those. We're going to put in our iron, our backpack, a chest. We now have our tier 2 iron backpack. And when we look at this, we now have double the storage that we had in this one. We're going to be able to fit a lot more things. But we're not done there. Can we go to gold? So we look at gold. We see gold is just gold around an iron backpack with a chest. So I don't think I have any gold in here just yet. So let's go check to see how our smelting has gone. Doesn't look like we have any gold because bronze has been created. I think I may have accidentally just screwed up and wasted all my gold creating bronze. And you can see right now the system is stuck. So it wants to put out bronze. There was some tin in here, and it probably used tin plus something to create that. That's the dangers of doing this. So to clear the backlog, I just need to mine that out. The casting table went in here. So we put the casting table back down. And we'll put the cast in, and that should get our brass going. Okay, unfortunately, that is a bit of a waste. We have our gold here. So once we get to iron, I want to actually stop this. And once again, it didn't look like there was enough. Yeah, that's the danger of this one. We're going to upgrade this so it works a little bit better, so that we don't have to worry about things mixing. And that should start making iron. Okay, now that we got that, I want to take this stuff out. And there's just a little bit of free spots in here. So let's start making some gold. We're going to want to make the gold for the backpack. This is going to take a bit, so we're going to make some and shove it down to the bottom so that we have it available to us. You guys don't need to see that on camera, so let's pause here and I will make us some gold. Okay, we got the system unclogged now, and it's starting to make gold for us. And I think that should be the 7 we need. So let's take that. And now that it's running, we'll also put the iron back in. That should be fine. So let's go through here. We take our gold ingots and our iron backpack with another chest. We now have a gold backpack. And looking at this one, we can see now we have a ton of additional storage space for materials and whatnot. So is that enough? That's tier 3. Tier 4 is diamond. It looks like we're going to need 6 diamonds, which is pretty hefty right now. We only have the 1. We did find 2 more, but we're going to hold off on diamonds right now. Eventually we're going to have a ton, but for the moment we're going to hold off on doing that. And I think this is pretty good. So now for things that we use a little bit, so my crafting station, for example, the stone sharpening kits, I don't need that available. I really only need the stone lumber axe when I'm chopping down trees, so that can stay there for a while. And I'll go through and clean this up. I do want to keep torches. Having a water bucket in your inventory is always good. I can now clean this up to put some of the other materials there. We can also bring some building materials with us, but you're going to see pretty soon why that's not needed. At the moment, we have a backpack, so as we're going on, if there's even materials that we're collecting while we're mining, we can shove it in the backpack and clear our space. This is going to make it so that we can go out and mine in a single trip, and it's going to make it so much better. Okay, so let's look at the next thing we want to do. We want to work on a dank null. So for this one, it's going to need, and if you've ever played with earlier Minecraft, it's a successor of something called the dev null. I'm going to explain how it works, but we're going to build it first. And it's being used, it needs 5 of these panels. Each one is pretty expensive because it needs a block of coal, stained glass, plus a material that goes along with it. So this is redstone, is our tier 1. And you'll notice down there to say how much stuff it's going to, without spoiling too much, it's going to be a storage material, and you can see it stores 9 things with 128 items per slot. And it's going to, what's awesome about it, it's going to automatically pick these up for us, which is good. Now, if we look at the next side, which is a lapis version, we can see this is even bigger. It has 18 slots, 512 items per slots, and it needs lapis and blue stained glass. So we do have some of that. But you can see there's 2 different recipes. 1 where we can build it via the panels. 2 where we take the previous dank null and add 4 panels. Because this used so much coal, I don't, to be honest, recommend building this and building each tier up. Instead, look for what your best tier is and build that if you have the right materials. So as I look up, we see irons next. Going around here, which is, we have a ton of iron. That's really good. How about the next one? The next one's gold. We can do gold. Absolutely, we can do gold. We don't have a lot, but we can totally do gold. Next, it gets a little more expensive. We have diamonds and and eventually emeralds. So you also have a creative one, but chances are you won't be able to build it. Usually, if you're only playing creative, you can bring it in. Once again, it's getting dark, so let's sleep. And we'll check out to see which one we want to build. I have a sneaking suspicion we're going to try for gold. So let's go check out and see what that's going to take. So with gold, 36 slots with 2,000 items per slots versus iron. I think it's going to be worth it to do the gold. Now, each one is going to require yellow stained glass, a block of coal, and yellow ingots. We need 5 of these for our base recipe, which means, we need 20 blocks of coal. 20 times 9 is 180 pieces of coal. And currently we're at 12. So we're a little low. Oh, and we have 20 in our inventory. So we're going to need a ton more coal. Now the glass part's going to be the easy part, because all we need for that is yellow stained glass, which is made from yellow glass. And this is just any type of yellow dye surrounded by 8 pieces of glass. So if we can get 1 piece of yellow dye, we're good. And to do that, I think all we need is a yellow flower, and we do have one of those right now. So let's get that. Now here's another bit. One-on-one, this dandelion will turn into dandelion yellow. A lot of the times, if we take these and look at other recipes, we might find a more efficient way of doing it. So as I look through here, I see a squeezer from Integrated Dynamics that makes 4. Mechanical squeezer makes 4 and has a 50% chance of doing 2 more, which is awesome. We have a crusher. Most of these look like they are mechanical bits. There's a crusher here, which makes 2. So I think our squeezer might be good. So if we can make a squeezer, which is just planks, a bunch of iron, and some sticks, we can get more. So let's do this recipe. That's going to be useful because we have a lot of iron. We're okay to waste a bit of iron here. We do need some planks, and we need some sticks. So let's do that. So I believe the recipe was 2 sticks. Making sure I got it right, I think 2 planks, an iron, and a big block of iron. And there's our squeezer. So here we have our squeezer. We'll put it down next to this thing. We'll put our dandelion yellow into there. And then this works by jumping on it. Sometimes you got to position yourself just right. There it goes. Jump on it a few times. Okay, we only got 3, but that's better than just a 1-for-1. In order to reset this, you need to apply a redstone signal, so you can do that with a lever or a button. If I have a piece, I do have a piece of stone, so this is one easy way to do it. We can just put a button next to it. When we click it, it resets it. Perfect. Oh, it looks like, oh, we did get 4. It looks like some just went into our drying basin. Awesome. Okay, so now that we have that, so what we need is we have our dandelion yellow. We need a bunch of glass, which we have 7. That's not too bad. We're going to need more sand. Oop. No, we're going to actually need 2. We're going to need 1 more piece because that's going to go in the middle. Do we have a piece of sand here? We don't. So we're out of sand. I'm going to need to go looking for some sand, but it's more than just that. I'm going to need sand to make glass, and I'm going to need a monstrous amount of coal. So 9, like I said, 9 times 20 is 180 pieces. We got some work to do. So let me take a break here. I'm going to go mine a bunch of coal, and I will be right back. And we can see how to build the dank null and what it's useful for. I'll be right back. But before we get to that, I am clearing out. We're getting close to the amount of coal that we need. We can see that my backpack is starting to fill up with a bunch of cobble. And we have, and it's taking just a little bit longer than I would like. We can put some of the ores up here right now. Taking a little bit longer than what I like. So we're gonna, before we build our dank null, we're gonna go back to the base and take a look at modifiers for Tinker's Construct. I wanted to get into this today. We're slowly beginning to run out of time with our tournament, with our episode, and I got poker on the mind. And I want to kind of introduce the concept of that. So let's go back to the base and I'll teach you about that. Okay, we're back at the base. We have our Akashic Tome set to Materials in U. And when you click on it, let's go back into here. And so the next thing we're going to look at is modifiers. When you click onto here, modifiers are a bunch of advancements that you can add on to your tools. And there are a lot of them, and different mod packs will add more and different ones, which is really, really, really cool. To start off, we're just going to look at a couple of these, and the one I want to look at first is haste. So when you go to haste, it says adding redstone to a tool seems to increase its speed. Redstone mining speed effect is more potent on slower tools. Redstone, crazy stuff, am I right? So it says each redstone dust increases mining speed by a small amount. It will also increase the attack speed if you put it on weapons, and you can put multiple levels on, which is really cool. So how does that apply? That is all done through, once again, the tool station. So here we have our stone hammer. Let me just kind of repair that up. And it said redstone's what needed. So let's put 1 single piece of redstone on and see what happens. So we can see now we get this little red dot here, and we can see that haste has been added. So on this one, we don't see the red name haste. This one we do, and we can see that it is right now 1 of 50. So this is, and once you look at it also, if I take it off and hold shift, before I put anything on, it has 3 modifiers. So on my hammer right now, I can have a grand total of 3 different things on there. So the stone hammer can have 3 different modifiers. And remember that the speed thing said I could have multiple levels of speed. So the more modifiers I put on, the faster it's going to get. Right now, it doesn't look too great. It says over here the bonus speed is 0 because only have 1 of 50. So let's put more on. If I take this on, we have a little bit of speed. You can see it's not huge. And so we're going to put more on, but just to make it a little bit easier, what I'm going to do is take the redstone and just make it into some blocks, so that's a little easier to put on. So let's put on, there we go, there's 37, 46, and 50. So this will get our speed up. Now we can see with 50, our bonus speed is plus 20%. Now it's going to be 20% faster. Now let's see if I have a little bit more in here. I do. This is good. I did find some more while I was mining right now. I'm going to turn those into blocks also. And we'll put those in. So we can see now once we put the single one in, 50 is where it's at, and it uses 1 modifier. As soon as I go with 1 more, now it's used up a second modifier, and we'll go to 100. So let's put that in, and we can say 95. And we need just 4 more, so we're going to need to turn this back into dust. And all we need is 5 more. We are now our bonus minus speed 40% now that we've put that on. So that's what I want to put on there. On my pick, I usually put this on my hammer just to mine fast, and I don't make the mining level high, but the pick is something I want something slightly different on. And for that one, we're going to look at the book and see the next one is luck. And it adds a fortune effect. So once you place this modifier on something, it also stacks. You can put multiple levels, but it acts as if you have looting 1, 2, or 3 on your weapons. So I think I have a little bit of lapis. I do. I got 32. So let's go check that. I want to put that on my main pick. That way, if I'm doing things that drop items like coal or diamonds, that's the big one, or emeralds, it's going to have a slightly bigger chance. So I put 1 on, and we can see this one's going to take 60. So right now, it does have a little bit of luck. So I'm going to use all my lapis on here. Once again, I'm going to do it block form just because that's a little bit faster. I'm going to spend all my lapis on here just to get luck up. And what's cool about this one is as you use it, you'll notice it's going to be 32 now. You can see it on here, it's 32. But as you use it, if luck's on, it's going to naturally go up over time. Now we're going to need to find a lot more lapis because I want a lot more luck. We have a little bit, so that should help. Okay, so let's see what difference adding 2 levels of speed does. Let's go down into the mine and see if that makes a little bit of a difference. Okay, so just hit my mine. We have gone that way. We hit some gravel. I want to see stones. Let's go this way. Oh yeah, look at that. That is much better. Now it's obviously going to stop, so this is where I've put luck on here. And hopefully now I'm picking up a little bit extra redstone also, which with redstone and lapis, having a little bit of luck on there is going to help. Definitely. I do want to see if I don't want to waste all my diamonds yet, only because I want to be able to have luck 3 before I mine a lot of my diamonds. But let's see. Normally you just get 1. Let's see if luck 1 makes it a little bit better. Sadly, only 1 diamond there, and only a diamond there. So we still have some work to do. It may be because I don't have the full thing of luck, but it was worthwhile experiment trying. Anyways, so you can see how much more fast this is now in mining stone. So we're gonna rip through this stuff looking for our coal, and once we have that, I'm gonna get the rest of the coal, then head back to the base and look at making a dank null. Although we are slowly running out of time, so we may need to save the dank null till the next episode, but let's see how close we get. So we finished our mining expedition. We can see right now we've been collecting a lot of cobblestone here. It's really good. And we found a few more redstone, but we want to finish our dank null. And I think we said we're going to use the gold one. So these are what we want to make. So now we need 20 blocks of coal, which luckily we have a few things here. I'll show you a nice little shortcut. If you put your items in here and say even balance the grid, boom, we get it. So let's get our 20. Perfect. Now we need our yellow glass, which I forgot to get sand. And how are we doing on gold? We have some gold. We were mining some gold up. We have 27, so we have enough. And you know what? We are getting close to the end of the episode. So I think what we might do is hold off creating it to the next one, because there is a few things that I want to definitely do when we get into our dank null. I do want to explore that a little bit. We're going to explore our dank null, help our mining, and then I think it's time to finally beautify our little home, probably before we move out, because I think it's time to find a new place soon. But for now, I think that's where we're going to end it off. We have upgraded our weapons, and we've created a few things to help our life go a little bit better while mining. So that's it for this episode. Hope you enjoyed the time. We'll see you again very soon and continue on with Tinker's Construct and all the mods 3 Lite. Have a great night.